Hey, everybody, we are live again. You thought we were done? We're not. I'm here
We're
with
not.
my great friend, Peter Freeman, hitting volleys with his Dunlop racket that he picked up this year. And he had a great volley session, by the way, on the summit. So, yeah, we're here to talk about this great topic that Pete actually suggested to me, and he'll expand more upon it. Pushers win, hitters win, tweeners lose. So I'm really excited to talk to you about that. Peter's going to be leading the show, and I'm going to ask him some questions. So really excited about that. But yeah, first off, Pete, what's going on, man? How have you been?
I've been great.
Oh, Pete, by the way, is having a little bit of internet issues, so hopefully it'll stabilize. But how am I doing? So Pete, hopefully you'll be back soon. But I'm doing great. I am pretty tired. Obviously, we had an amazing week last week. Around like 10,000 people, I think, joined the summit, and yeah, no complaints there. A lot of great sessions. I'm really excited personally to go back and watch them all because there's just so much information that. Oh, here we go. Peter's back. Peter, how you doing?
We are experiencing turbulence. Everybody, put your seatbelt on. It might be a little bumpy ride, but I'm sure we'll get you back to your destination.
That is an amazing impression. You must fly a lot.
How's it going, guys? Yeah, I'm like having a tough time with internet. So if you guys see me disappear, I will be coming back. Mehrban will keep the show going. So don't panic. We will be here, and I will be back. And Mehrban's a pro. So if I leave, he's got it.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. Yeah, he might leave just at any point. Whether internet, he might get mad. No, I'm kidding. He has a great temperament. Yeah, I guess Pete. I think he's downloading Twitter or something to save it just in case.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's interesting topic. But yeah, anyways, hey John, I see you there, and hey everybody, let us know where you're tuning in from in the chat. So yeah, like I said, today we're going to talk about just single strategy and how you can improve it, and different player types as well, the pushers, hitters, and tweeners, and the pros and cons of each one.
This actually
And
works in
yeah,
doubles too. This is doubles. This
oh,
is
doubles.
singles.
Okay.
This is just. I think
Ah,
this is going to be a really, really good session tonight. I'm looking forward to it. It's kind of like I've always, it's like you're on the cusp of something, but you don't quite know how to put it. And tonight, I know how to put it, and I want to share it with you guys. Something you've seen forever, something you guys are all going to be able to relate to. I even relate to it. I'm sure Mehrban relates to it, and it's a 100% true. So,
yeah,
hello,
love it.
Elaine. Elaine from Central New
Hey,
Jersey.
Central New Jersey, not too far from me. As we mentioned, John is here. What's up, John? And yes, sunny Victoria, BC, cherry blossoms. Nice. We've got some cherry blossoms out. And how about you, Pete? You seen any in your neck of the woods?
Oh
And
man,
then
Georgia is beautiful right now. Today was like mid
boom.
70s. It was incredible. So yeah,
Mm.
that's right. We got a Georgia. Rosie sees some
Rosie, what's
Georgia.
up? Very nice.
Yes.
Is that close
Yes.
to Atlanta? Where's that?
I don't think so. How far is
Okay.
that from Atlanta, Rosie? I don't think so. Yeah,
Mm.
guys, come on in. Say hello. Give Mehrban a big hand for getting through another successful tennis summit. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you, my friend. Looking forward to your event, TennisCon, in the fall. Rosie, East in Conyers, if
East
I
of
pronounced
Conyers. Yeah,
that correct.
Conyers isn't so I mean, it's definitely not hours away, but it's not like super close. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
But hey,
Awesome. Well, what's that? Hey.
17
Oh,
miles. That's not, I mean, that's not that far. Dave's on.
Dave T.
Delaware's
Remmel.
on.
Loveland. That was a great name. You live in
Massachusetts.
Loveland. So it's like impossible to not find a companion in Loveland, I would say. Sorry, dad joke. 17 miles, good. Danielle, hello from Delaware. Nice. That's really close to me. Maryland, it's like an hour drive. I remember playing Delaware University quite a few times. Always windy there in those courts. Let's see. Robert Chasen. Hello from Massachusetts. Hello to you as well. Gail, what's up? Thanks for the summit, DC. My pleasure, our pleasure. It was a lot of fun. Dr. Success.
Now,
Love that name.
Marietta,
Hello.
I know Marietta very well, and that is, very close to Atlanta. So
Nice. Yeah, I really want to come over soon.
you should.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, thanks for saying hello, everybody. We're gonna have a nice session today. And before we go into it, I just do want to let everyone know that this is the last night to get the Tennis Summit 2022 All Access Pass. Worth a ton. Like almost 3K in value there. As I mentioned before, like you get the audio files, transcripts, free set of strings, Q&A, just a lot of stuff. And also, Pete, can you remind us about the bonus that you're going to give away as well?
Yes, I'm going to remind you about the bonus. And also, guys, in the chat, if you ordered more than a couple of days ago and you have not got your bonuses yet from me, please email me at crunchtimecoaching@gmail. Maybe you can put that in, Mehrban.
Yeah.
And I have been receiving emails back saying, "Oh, thank you. I see it's in my library." So we've been very hard at work getting those bonuses in your library. So here are the 3 big bonuses. So this year I strategize on the top 10 volley tips, because I say volleys are more complicated than you think. So, and it's a big key to success if you're going to be playing doubles and singles. That's where I find a lot of people blow points that they should be winning. So I'm arming you with Next Level Doubles, which is 108 videos that talks about, how to win with weaker partners, how to win when you are the 108 videos. It's pretty awesome. And it covers strategy, drills, technique. Like, yeah, when I create a course, I basically just pour all my thoughts out into the course. And
and they're not each 1 second videos, right?
What? No, they're not. They're not.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are like 5 minutes, some are like 10, 15 minutes. I mean, it was a lot of work. So go to Next Level. You get Next Level Doubles. You get No Fear Net Play, which really gets technical on your forehand and your backhand volley, plus gives you more drills. And then my 7-day double specialty shot challenge. So, if you go through all that, I would even start maybe with a 7-day double specialty shot challenge, see if you guys can do that. But yeah, email me if you have not gotten your bonus and you signed up more than a couple days ago, because we have been hard at work. If you just signed up like today, if you sign up tonight, which I hope you do, Mehrban, can you put my link in there so they can get my bonuses? So if you sign up tonight, give me like 48 hours to get that bonus in your library. And if you don't get it in your library, or don't know how to log in, or forget your user and password or whatever, just email me at crunchtimecoaching@gmail.com. Don't think that you are inconveniencing me by emailing me if you forgot your user and a password. I'm happy to get those emails. I love when people email me and say, I forgot how to log in, or I can't log in. Then I know, okay, you want to get in and I can easily help you. So I'm here to help, both on the court and off the court.
Yes, we really appreciate that. So yeah, I put the link in the chat, and if you go through Pete's links, and you'll get that. And and by the way, shoot, I forgot to mention. So I am actually throwing in something really cool. Like it's like a lot of value, guys. So guys and gals and everybody. So I'm actually throwing in not only my top 10 interviews from the podcast, the Tennis Files podcast, which you should all check out, but also I'm adding in another summit for you guys. So I'm adding in my second tennis summit. And also, in case you have that summit, just let me know, email me, and I'll set you up with a different summit. So
wow.
So you're getting 2 summits. You're getting, all the bonuses I mentioned, all the bonuses that Peter mentioned, if you go through Peter's link. So yeah, we just packed it in for you.
Amazing.
Yeah, so it's pretty sweet. So we'll talk about it again at the end.
Can you put that comment up by Tennis Tuition, who, by the way, he is great. We have a good relationship now. This guy, he did my 7-day serve challenge and my forehand challenge. He was sending me videos serving in the pouring rain. It was amazing.
Wow. Nice. Yes. Whoa, dang. That's commitment. I love that drive, when you see that. So awesome. Let me get to some more comments, because I love the comments, and then we will Let me take this this email off for now, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah, so we got so Gail, I think we got Gail already. We got Deborah. Hello, P Rock or Proc from Eastern Mass, another Massachusettsian. I didn't say that right. Kay, hey from Australia. Wow, fantastic. I gotta visit there sometime. Dr. Bagel Maker,
The
who
bagel
apparently wins
maker's on.
6060 every time, right?
He came out to Atlanta, and we had a great time. We were on the court. We went out and had some bagels. No, we had some lunch together. Really great guy. Great guy.
Nice. Love that. That's an intimidating name for a tennis player.
Yeah.
Mark Hay from Burnsville, Minnesota. Awesome. Hello, Mark. Couple more here. King Arthur USA. Vic Braden book Tennis for the Future, in my humble opinion, is a good book to understand tennis. Great suggestion.
A legend.
Appreciate that.
Vic Braden.
Fantastic. Yeah, a legend. Oh, I love watching his videos, like on the serve and other stuff. Really good. Pete always respond. Yeah, to every request.
Oh, go down to Josine.
Oh, nice. Hey, Beck. By the way,
She's
Becky,
coming.
Beck, sorry.
She's coming on. She's coming on Friday. She's coming 2 days. We're doing a hyper focus camp. 4 players. We go deep on technique.
Nice.
Yes.
Awesome. Love that. Love that. Great. So everybody, let's get started. So again, we're talking about pushers win. There's other names for that. Obviously, we respect, those types of players. Hitters win and tweeners lose. So Pete, can you please let us know, what this means? Some people might not be familiar with, some of these terms and just the overall gist of what you want to talk about today.
Yes. So I came up with this the other day when I had a student. He came from North Carolina, and I set him up with because this guy legitimately has a 5-0 kick serve. I'm not kidding. Like, this serve is unbelievable. He's really good at serve and volleying. He has a nice ripping topspin forehand. And when he rips his forehand and he gets it in, it is every bit of a 5-0 forehand. But he said, Pete, I want to come down to Atlanta and I want you to watch me play, because I know I have all these skills, but I lose to 3-5 and 4-0 players, and everybody always tells me I should do better because, I have these skills that I feel I should be, winning more matches. So he says, I particularly lose against counter punchers, which a lot of people call pushers.
Mm-hmm.
So I found the ultimate best counterpuncher, most legendary counterpuncher to put him against. If you guys watch YouTube videos, there's a guy called the Most Exhausting Player, MEP. Ian from Essential Tennis even brought him up to Wisconsin to play him. So I know Ben, and I said, Ben, would you play my player? He needs practice against a guy just like you. And so I watched them play. And MEP destroyed him. And this guy hit so many great shots. He didn't play bad at all. And there's lots of MEPs, most exhausting players, all over the globe, I realized. Lots of times they get trashed. But when they're really good at this skill, they win a lot of matches. So pushers win. They don't get the credit that they deserve, but they get a lot of W's that they deserve. Okay? Then, if you go on YouTube and you watch MEP play this 12-year-old Simon, he's 40 in the nation in 12 and unders. And Simon is a hitter, because Simon actually now goes to Windy Hill High Performance Tennis. I saw Simon today playing on the court, so I see him close up. This is his craft. This is what he does since he's been like 5-6 years old. Eats, sleeps, dreams tennis. He's even watched all of. Imagine a 12-year-old. He's watched all of MEP's videos. He this is his life. This is his passion. So and he's out there every single day for like 3-4 hours a day. So he's becoming a little machine. So he's a hitter. Hitters win. But where a lot of recreational players, especially who feel stuck, who feel frustrated, who are going against players that they go, man, I got nicer strokes than this player for sure, but why can't I beat him? There's a good chance you're a tweener. And so what's a tweener? A tweener is somebody who has maybe too much pride, maybe foolish pride, to resort to pushing. They don't have the repetitions. It could be many things. It could be the repetition, it could be the technique, or it could be the belief. It's one of those three that you don't have to be able to hit. So you're stuck in tweener land, to where you're not quite pushing, but you're not quite hitting either. It's like you're trying to hit the ball, but then you're like trying to hold on to the shot at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And you will lose. You will lose. You can't win like that. And so tonight, this is like a public service announcement that I want to talk about and help you guys navigate and give you guys some options and also give you some opinions. Like, here's another perfect example. Tonight, I'm watching a match at Windy Hill. And there's this guy who's very highly ranked nationally in 14 unders. He's really good. And he hits the ball. He looks a lot like Roger Federer. I mean, a lot. His stroke is modeled after Federer. And he's playing this other guy who doesn't look near as good as him. You know, you guys, if you watched him, you wouldn't call him a pusher. You'd say the other guy, you'd say still looks good. But the guy I'm talking about, who's nationally ranked, clearly looks better. His strokes are more polished. And he comes out and he's hitting. And he's dominating. He gets up 5-1 hitting. But the other guy who actually the coach at Windy Hill tonight, the main guy running the program, you know, accused him of pushing, right? He's like, you didn't play the way you should. You pushed, because he came back and won 7-6. But the coach still didn't want to give him credit, because he's like, you pushed your way back. But to me, still, I'm going, you know what? But he won, and he didn't give up, and he fought. And what happened was the hitter lost a little bit of confidence, turned into a tweener. He went from a hitter to a tweener, and the pusher never gave up and basically made the guy choke himself out and lose. Yeah. So I feel that most recreational players, they're not going to want to hear this, have got to figure out the correct blend of pushing and hitting and avoid tweenering as much as possible, if that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I think kind of a similar case as you. Like, I can remember some matches where, you know, with that last student, like I was hitting out, you know, hitting big and all that, but then something caused me, you know, usually it's like thinking about the score and whatnot to just, you know, kind of hit in the middle ground and you know, hit some, push some, or just, yeah, because either you choose, you know, like if you're a pusher, you know, quote unquote, like you're just getting every ball back, you're committed, but like the tweener is kind of like, you know, you're not really being aggressive enough. You're like hanging some balls like in the middle and you start missing. So yeah, I really like this this concept here. Let's see if I'm just looking if we have any questions. Tennis Teuton, and sorry if I interrupted you, Pete, but
No.
what bends pushers, counter punchers can teach you is patience and shot selection, I believe.
Yes. And so yeah. Tonight I want to talk about hitting and I want to talk about pushing. And another thing is a lot of people think that pushing is always like a bad shot, because lots of times people who are pushers can look bad. But watching Mep up close too, I can tell you his pushing technique is actually pretty effective. Like, this guy had a great serve, and Ben, you could see he could place the ball on a dime. He's got mastery over his pushes, to where when you're there watching it close, I've watched him online, but watching him close, I mean, I see that his technique is honed in to where this guy who's hitting like a 5-0 serve, he's got the timing, he's got the placement, he's able to, you know, the guy liked to serve and volley a lot. He put one low at the guy's feet. He was able to pass him. He was able to hit little angles.
Yeah.
And so there's lots of good quality hits when you're pushing. Okay. And there's all sorts of technique within the pushing cycle. So if you could maybe blow me up so I can kind of show people,
Sure.
you know, some strokes.
Go for it.
So I'm going to actually take off this headset.
Can't hear you.
No. Can you still hear me?
Oh, yeah, now I can hear you. Yep.
Yeah. No.
It was working.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I think it's coming from a different audio source, like the computer or something.
Okay. Well, I'll keep these on.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm just going to have to really work well in this small space. So you guys, lots of guys and ladies out there, when you think of pushing, you think of like ugly strokes, pusher, right? But a push can also, there's lots of players who wouldn't even get like made fun of as a push, who have amazing technique, especially if they play doubles. You know, a push is anything where you're pushing at the ball and you're not, you know, there's some acceleration, but your body is more pushing the ball. So, you know, this is a push, right? Obviously. And this is what a lot of people think about a pusher. But this awesome technique is also a push. I'm pushing this ball. I'm not hitting this ball. And so I think everybody here, and you're not going to, maybe some of you are not going to want to hear this. Everybody here likes to spend a lot of time working on their hitting technique. But you're not going to be able to hit your way through every single match. You're going to have a degree of a pushing shot and a hitting shot. And so everybody here should be working really hard on your slice technique. That's a push. And when you're pushing, what can you do to control a match when you're pushing? You can hit nice deep balls that stay low. That's a push shot. You can hit little angle shots that bite and stay low. You can hit great approach shots. You can hit lobs. You can hit drop shots. These are all the skills that you can use pushing the ball. Okay. And you can actually look pretty darn stylish pushing the ball. And I'm going to get to that in a second. But that's pushing, you know. Mehrban, any questions or anything?
Yeah, sorry, I was having a chocolate bar. But you know, I totally agree with you. I mean, playing you know, the pusher style where they have nailed down these like low slices and chip shots can be extremely difficult and very taxing, more taxing than having these shots for like normal shots that are waist high or, you know, even higher at the shoulder, especially for somebody like me with, you know, like a in between, like a semi-Western and Western grip. So if the players, if these pushers are able to get the ball really low, that's tough. And if they're able to keep replicating this and making you, you know, bend with your knees like over and over again, I mean, that's a great strategy again. So they're hitting some of the most effective shots that are in the like most least liked strike zone. So yeah, I mean, it's a great strategy, to be honest. But you know, it's interesting because we have let's see here, Bilal, who nice to see you again. It all comes down to what you want as a player. Personally, I'd rather play another sport than have an MEP type of game. To me, it's like the shooting a basketball underhanded but making it. What do you think about that?
I'm going to have to take him to task. So everybody here has got to develop pushing skills. Okay. And I think that we are confusing the word, because I've heard this a lot. We're confusing the stereotypical pusher with what a pushing stroke is. When Roger Federer hits a slice backhand, he is pushing. He just looks a hell of a lot better than MEP when he does it. And he is a hell of a lot better at his pushing shot. Okay. And you need that because it's way, this guy lost to MEP quite handily because he only had one option, offense all the time. He had one gear. His serve was amazing. His volley was very good, way above average of a recreational player. But if MEP could get it to 30 all, if MEP could get it to 30 all and get him to have a tough volley or get him to miss an overhead, or sometimes he flubbed a high volley, then there was the break. Okay. And this guy had no other. I don't want this guy that, and I'll tell you more about how I coach him. I don't want him to have a plan B, like, oh, well, then just start pushing like MEP. But you've got to have more layers in your game. You only had one layer. So if you are rejecting this idea of you don't want to have pushing skills, you are giving yourself less options out there in a match to win. Okay, you're becoming one-dimensional. This is what this guy was. This guy was great offensively. I'm going to put the video out in a month and you'll see. Okay, this guy has an unbelievable looking serve, really good volleys, but he could only do that. He could chip and charge and win points. In rallies, he got very nervous and tweened. Even though he's got a forehand that he can rock, he especially was hitting tweener forehands. He had like no confidence in his forehand, and he was trying to hit it, but he didn't quite commit. So he hit a lot of balls that fell short in the net. He had a lot of balls that fly down on him. So he needs to work on his hitting skill on his forehand, which I'll explain how he did. And he also needs to, and which became very successful, work on his pushing skills with his forehand as well. And everybody here, unless you are, first of all, even the junior that I'm talking about that beat MEP, who I said is a hitter, he's got amazing pushing skills. He has an awesome slice forehand and backhand. He's got awesome volleys. That's a pushing motion. You know, if he gets stretched outside the court, he can push the ball in. So even hitters, when you watch juniors who are great hitters, by and large, most of them, and your better juniors, have also great pushing skills. There's often these guys all at our junior academy here at Windy Hill, they all hit massive topspin forehands and backhands. But I will say at least once a week, we'll be in the short court, and then we even go back to the baseline where the coach will say, you can only chip the ball. These great players, you can only chip the ball for the next 15, 20 minutes. Or you have to hit one chip, one topspin.
I like that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's really important. Again, I mentioned this in the previous live stream, but there was a clip that I think, again, I'm trying to remember if it was Jorge or who it was, but basically Shelby Rogers, she had defeated, like, I don't know if it was Swiatek or somebody, like really high ranked player. And they were interviewing her, and she basically said that, I didn't want to, I don't like playing this way, but I had to resort to hitting like high loopy topspin balls, which, I mean, it's different from the pushing, I guess, in a way, but it still is kind of pushing. So the point is, like, if you want to be able to win matches, the more tools that you have in your toolbox, the better. And, we had a checklist in one of the sessions, I think that was with Jorge, where he listed like all these different skills that you have and the skills that your opponent have. And, maybe your opponent might have like 7 skills and you only have 3. But if you can employ one of those skills that you have that they don't have, and that's going to hurt them, then you could win the match. So, sometimes you just really have to dig deep and play a style that you may not, like to play, or you think is ugly or whatever, if you want to win. So, and, I know that everybody tuning in here is pretty much competitive. They want to improve. They want to win. So it's just a matter of really trying to find the tactics that will hurt your opponent the most and employing them. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. So it's really important to just, shove aside like, preferences for like just playing like beautifully and things like that. Let's see what else we got here. So Sherry.
We got some good questions. Yeah.
We do. We have some real guys. I just want to highlight this one. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. And so is Mehrban. It was kind of funny. It was like back-to-back days. So Ian's doing something pretty courageous. He's made a book called Essential Tennis. He came to Georgia and filmed with the Tennis Troll channel, which MEP actually played his co-author Joel. So MEP is going to be on that. And then he came and did, we did like 6 or 7 videos with him, me and my friend Matt Bradshaw from Coffee Break Tennis. And then he came up to you, right, Mehrban?
Yeah, he came up and we shot like 3 videos and then another video about the book. So yeah, it was really fun. It was really fun.
Yeah.
Can't wait to release those.
Can you go to her other question though? Because I think this is a great question.
Which one? The one next to it?
No, Sherry went.
How would you put the percentage in a match of finesse versus hitting?
Okay.
Say. Yeah.
Okay, this is a great question. See, this is the thing that is individual based, and you have to figure it out. Because my guy who came down and lost to MEP, he needs to add. Well, not even add. That's the thing that's crazy. This guy has like all the skills in tennis. He needs to implement more pushing shots into his game. But I'm never going to train him to become an MEP, right? I'm not going to, I don't want him to push as much as MEP is going to push in a match, right? Because he's got a massive serve. He's got great serve and volley. Overall, I want him to be an attacker. I want him serving volleying. I want him coming to the net off second serves sometimes, a good healthy dose, but not every time. Because then again, you become one-dimensional. This guy is 6'4", 6'5", so I'm not going to teach him how to be a golden retriever and be staying back at the baseline. So the percentage is something that you have to figure out, okay? What are you capable of? What is going to work in a match? And I'm going to get to a specific drill that I told him he needs to do, and I want everybody here to do it. I want everybody here to do it, because then you will start to understand and identify how much you not what you want to do. It's not about what you want to do, guys. Winning matches is about what you can do and what you can do under pressure. Okay? You want to hit the ball, but can you hit the ball? Or do you resort to tweening? And you have to be honest with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? Because I saw some really good stuff.
Yeah, I just want to cover, just so I get everyone. So Becky had a question about a good exercise program for her daughters, like 9 to 10. I would check out the tennis fitness sessions, and also, take into account your daughter's age and things like that. I would also go, if you want, try to contact Dr. Mark Kovacs. He's just really good with that sort of stuff. So maybe he can help you out somehow. But we're going to try to focus this session on strategy and whatnot. So let's see. Bilal, if you want to be that, then fine. But if everything is even, then I'd rather get my technique down rather than just win. Tennis is therapeutic for me rather than just win no matter what.
Okay. Well, I want to say a couple of things.
Yeah.
First of all, Kay, she says, watching the live streams, hitters, she says, I need that volley course. I signed up for lifetime access Summit before your bonuses were offered. So I'm wondering if you're going to add that to my library. And the answer is absolutely yes. We're trying to add every single person who signed up on my buyers list. So, Kay, if you signed up on my buyers list, we're trying to add it. And since you sent me this email, I'm going to just give you the benefit of the doubt. And I know you very well, and I'm going to set you up. So that's how it's done. If you don't have your bonus in your library, that's how you get it. You email me. Now, as far as with all things being equal, now here we go. What was interesting, because he says, I'd rather just work on my technique. Okay. Pushing is an art form. It's a technique. And the thing that you guys are not getting is pushing is not necessarily hitting the ball slow. Okay? It's not having the pressure of having to swing and hit. Now, I'm in my living room, so I can't take a big swing and hit. Plus, my buddy B2's right there. But imagine I'm trying to swing like Roger Federer. Okay? That's going to go fast. But pushing is always, for most people, is going to be easier under pressure if you have good technique, pushing, if you have a good looking slice forehand. Now, here's the thing. You can actually crack, and I'm not kidding. You can crack a slice forehand. You can crack a backhand slice. I watched this. I used to work for Tony Palafax, who coached John McEnroe as a junior and as a pro. And one of the hardest balls I've ever seen for my life is this guy in his mid-60s at the time, hitting with a junior who was a very highly ranked junior in New York, who was probably about 16, 18 years old. And this guy's hitting massive topspin. And Tony Palafax is absolutely rocking a backhand slice. I mean, the thing was moving like a laser, landing an inch from the baseline, skidding violently at him. And he was hitting the crap out of the ball, but he was pushing. Okay? He's not a pusher, but it's a pushing motion. It's not a swinging, hitting motion. And that's what I'm trying to get you guys to understand is if you want to play your best tennis, especially with the amount of time that you guys have, you've got to dedicate a good amount of time in your practice sessions to developing good pushing technique. And it doesn't mean that it's soft, that you're hitting the ball soft. Okay? Just like hitting doesn't mean that you're hitting the ball hard. Okay? That's another thing I want you to understand. So, like, if I'm warming up with somebody and I'm relaxed and I'm hitting the ball at about 40% power, but it's a hitting technique. If I'm doing this, I'm hitting. Okay? If I'm rallying with somebody, I'm doing this, I'm hitting. Okay? And I can make this work in a match. Hitting isn't going for winners. It's just the motion of hitting and no holding back, no inhibition. So a hit can be this and a hit can be this. Okay? A hit can be a conservative rally ball. A hit can be a challenge ball where you're trying to be on offense and see if they can handle your pace. And a hit can be going for an all-out winner. Okay? But this is still this nice little soft hit I'm doing. I'm hitting the ball. I'm not pushing. Okay? And I'm not tweening either, more importantly. A tweener is when you're trying to hit and then you get like a little yip somewhere along the way as you're hitting, and then you try and follow through after that. That is where you lose. If you're out there in a match and you say, I don't care if I lose, I'm going to hit. But then somewhere along the way, you lost faith in your hitting ability, which no one here on this call is above that. And I'm including myself and Mehrban. No one on this call is above that happening to you in a match. And if you just continue to say, damn it, I'm just going to hit my way out of it, you're not. You're just going to get more and more nervous and more frustrated, and you're going to lose faster. So you've got to have these honest conversations with yourself and build more skills and learn what situations you can hit under, what balls you can hit. And again, hitting doesn't mean hitting hard. Hitting just means hitting free, and it's a swinging motion versus a pushing motion. So as a tennis player, you need to have a swinging motion and a pushing motion. And when you are going in between those two motions, you are going to lose almost all your matches unless you're playing somebody else who's going through the same exact problem as you. And it's just a matter of who doesn't, do worse on, on that situation.
Yeah, I love it. Thanks, Peter. We have a lot of questions. Tennis Teuton. Sherry, my main practice partner is a counterpuncher, and he has really made me work on my game so far. Slice is indeed a good option. Agreed. King Arthur, USA, even though that sounds British. Vic Braden says heavy topspin down the middle, high bouncing balls. Good strategy. Good strategy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I actually did some of that in when I was doing my videos with Ian, and that worked out really well. Sherry, how would you? Oh, I think we did that already.
Yeah, we did that.
Let's see. King Arthur, underspin has to be played right, not percentage heavy topspin. It does have to be played right. Not sure about the not percentage.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but the heavy topspin again. everybody here would love to hit heavy topspin, but I'm telling you that everybody here eventually in a matches, not every match, but at some point in a match, you're going to lose that feel. Most of us are going to lose that feel on how to hit that heavy topspin that requires you to swing out. And I'm going to talk about how this one guy completely lost the feel to do that, even though he's fully capable of. And we'll get to that in a second. My poor buddy B2 is here growling. I don't know if you can hear him. He's having a tough time. Can you hear
want to
him,
help him out?
No. Oh,
I can barely hear.
Okay.
Yeah, show him.
Okay, so my buddy B2 got a hot spot. And yeah, he's a little bit of a. He was supposed to get groomed tomorrow because he's in desperate need of grooming. But now that he's got a hot spot, of course, it won't take him. And the next grooming session isn't till I can't get him until June.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, so he's having a really tough time, my buddy.
A really, really rough time. Sorry.
Really rough time.
Get it? Anyway.
I got it.
I know it's terrible. I apologize. Let's see. What do we got here? Yes, got that one. Pushers are great. They are ball machines. Play them and improve. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. They'll improve your game better than a ball machine. Yep.
No, that's
Mark.
Sure.
Yeah. You could also say we all need a soft game with the hard game. Pickleball has helped my tennis soft game control, touch, volley, slice, etc. immensely. Yeah. I played pickleball maybe twice, and while I much prefer tennis, I think it's a fun game, and yeah, for sure, like a lot of the touch shots that you need to play, especially when you're in that kitchen area, like behind it, you gotta really dink them, and those are very helpful shots that definitely correlates with the pushing type of game. Should we take a couple more before we move on, Peter?
Yeah, I like the next one. The next one's good too.
Rightio. HJ Joy. Are there certain balls you should push back, like when they are at shoulder height out of the strike zone? Deep lobs?
Yes. So I'm going to give you a couple of situations when you should go to a pushing technique. And there's probably more, so I'm not nailing probably every one of them, but just here's some ones for sure. Yes, definitely. Especially when you have a one-handed backhand, high backhands. So if you have a one-hander, this is a great time to go to a pushing motion. When the ball is out of your reach a little bit, and you're stretching and you're going to lose control by hitting, then you got to, go to a pushing motion. When you're on the run and you're barely getting to the ball, and the pros do this all the time. You see a drop shot. You ever see that where they hit a great drop shot and the other person runs up and they don't swing at it because they know if they swing at it, they're moving too fast to where they're not going to be able to control the ball. So they get up there, they slide, especially on the clay. We're getting ready to watch a lot of great clay court tennis in the next couple of months, and they hit that little angle ball. That's a pushing technique. Okay. Also, when another great time to push is when to absorb pace. You can kind of swing and absorb pace, like it's coming fast, and this the way you kind of like use your legs and your hands, the feel in your hands, and you also most likely don't swing through the ball fast, but you kind of you're still swinging, but you kind of absorb that pace and pick it up. That's a way to absorb pace. Another way to absorb pace though is to have that ball come and you block it back. Someone's got a big fast serve. Stan Wawrinka actually does this a lot on the forehand. I notice, especially on clay, big serve comes, he'll chip the ball back. So he's basically trying to take all that sting out of the ball and get it back in play. Lobs are a great time to go to a pushing motion. These are all the times. But here's the most important one. This is where you have to have an honest conversation. And this is kind of like, it's a skill you got to develop, and you got to be really honest with yourself. There are certain moments in a match, okay? And I haven't mastered tennis. I'm just telling you what's worked for me a lot. And I think all good players would kind of say this. Is there's certain times in a match to where like a second serve is coming and I still want to be offensive. And I know that the serve is just like, it's not a very good serve. I know it's totally attackable, but maybe the score line is a certain way, or maybe sometimes like even the Dow says, I'm not playing with the right feelings. I'm struggling to find the feeling of the ball, right? I will push the return. I will slice it. I will chip and charge. Or maybe I'll chip it low and bring them in and then hit a passing shot. Then there's other moments in the match to where the adrenaline's going, the confidence is there, the score can still be close. It can still be a big pressure point. But there's something inside me that goes, you know what? Let it rip. You've got this. And then I know it's time to go. The worst is when you're playing a match, you keep getting these lollipop serves, you keep flubbing them, maybe you tween them. See, when you tween them, you're not pushing. And I think a lot of you think that you are resorting to pushing when you're hitting your tweener shot. I think you get it confused. So you're trying to hit, but then you've got this push in there, and then you start yelling at yourself like, I'm pushing. No, you're not. You're tweening. And then you tell yourself the next time, like, I'm going to rip it. I'm no more pushing. And then you miss it again because the confidence isn't there. And that's what I don't want you to fall into. If it's not there, don't keep yelling at yourself to stop pushing because you're not pushing. You're tweening. And you might need to push a couple balls to build your confidence up, get your feel back, win a couple points, get the scoreboard going back in your favor so that you can swing out with confidence again. And that's the most important time to learn when to push and when to hit.
Love that, man. Love that. That's good stuff. We have a lot of questions here. I lose too many matches, Dave. When watchers say I was a better player, I get it, but this is really a hard thing for me.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's, it definitely happens where, again, like you may look like you have the better looking strokes, but in the end, it's your opponent that is more consistent and, brings out the more difficult shots that you can't, quite hit. So yeah, it happens all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have a couple more questions? Then I'm going to get to the drill that I want everybody to do. If you really want to play the way you want to play, I'm going to give you a drill, and then if you definitely go do this.
Heck yeah, I can't wait. So just a couple, yeah. Dave read Braden's book, Mental Tennis. Yep. Christopher, I'm getting lost in terminology. The goal is to become a complete player, master all the strokes, spin, and speeds, play offense and defense, learn to construct a point, etc., know how to play a point.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Perfect. And Christopher's a good player. He sent me some videos. He's got a great serve.
Oh, nice. Awesome. Love to hear
y'all. I know you guys.
Dave, thanks. Sherry, I think MEPs develop defense first, then grow into offense. Yeah. Definitely defense oriented. Yeah. I agree. Tennessee Town. I absolutely love to play aggressively, but sometimes it's good to have other tactical options. Exactly. Plus, you can surprise your opponents now and then. Good stuff. Peter. Wow, we do have a lot of comments, but Peter, I can let you go for the drill. You want to do the drill now?
Yes, I want to do the drill. This is so. He lost to MEP, my student, and I told him, like, because it was kind of weird. He lost like 1-2, and I was impressed with his play. I'm not kidding. I'm like, man, this guy is really good offensive, way better than most recreational players. Okay, especially ones that are playing 3-5, 4-0 tennis. I mean, some of the serves, I was like, that's huge. I was on the court. I'm like, this thing's. He had like monster kicks. He had some high. You'll see it. You'll see it next month. I'm not going to be lying. He would have high backhand volleys and come in and crush it cross court. And I thought, man, I don't know if I would have done that well on that high backhand volley. Like, that was amazing. But I told him, you're putting way too much pressure on yourself. All you're doing is playing offense every point. So it's just too tough to do this at this level. And so I'm like, we need to work on, there was a couple things. We didn't even get to it. It's like, I wanted to work on him being able to chip and bring Mep in. But I especially knew that there was a big opportunity because every time this guy serves, he's going to either, be able to hit a nice volley, or he's going to get a ball right back in the middle of the court to where he can clock a forehand.
Yeah.
Okay. So I brought him out to the court after the match, and we started to work on his topspin forehand. And I was feeding him, 2 or 3 balls at a time. And I was going, damn, this guy's forehand is really good. A lot of times when people come to me, I'm big on technique. And I love to teach people technique, and I'll get out the iPad and I'll show them. We'll get the coach's eye out. I'll be drawing all their stuff. But when this guy was ripping the ball, I was like, that's awesome. Like, I mean, impressive. Like he was ripping some forehands where I'm like, I wouldn't have got that ball. Mehrban, you're younger and faster than me. You wouldn't have got the ball. I mean, this dude could flat out rip 5-0, 5-5 forehand individually for sure.
Nice.
But then he would go into these things to where even when we weren't keeping score, that he would go on a little bit of a confidence,
Why is that?
walkabout, huh?
Why do you think?
Because I think he struggles with feel and confidence. Even though it looks good, I don't think he feels the ball, because he'll set up one and he'll go over the net 5 or 6 feet and it'll be ripping, and then the next ball will be like halfway up the net. And so he has trouble feeling getting his, because he's a big guy too. He has trouble feeling when his legs are low enough and when his hand's low enough. And then I said, okay, but we got to a point where he's hitting the ball pretty good. And I'm like, okay, now, so the first thing I'm doing is just feeding him underhand on his side. You can have the ball machine do this. So the drill is, the first part of the drill is serve, land, split step, and hit 2 to 3 balls. And you can first, because I know everybody wants to do it, first you could start practicing ripping the ball if you want, okay? And see how you're doing with that. Then when you feel the ball, when you're like, okay, I'm warmed up, and this is way harder than you think it is, you've got to serve, and you've got to hit, and legitimately hit. If you want to be a hitter, you got to hit 2 forehands in a row to win the point. And you want to hit, and if you feed the ball like if you're a righty and you feed the ball to yourself on the do side, hit cross court. And if you have the ball feed to the ad side, maybe you can even oscillate your ball machine, so you could do 1 and 1, then hit inside out. Okay, and I want the ball to be okay, because you can't go through. We're trying to add dimensions to your game, so don't go out there, man. I was just ripping the crap. All my shots have been winners. I'm not asking you to hit winners. I'm asking you to hit heavy to both sides of the court with a good amount of topspin and confidence. And you got to do that. So it's serve, it's got to be in. Forehand's got to be in. Forehand's got to be in again. You're up 15 love. You don't do that, you're down 15 love. Okay? And I did it with this guy who's got a beautiful forehand. And he could not win games. At first, the games were like deuce, add. And every time it's a big point. And lots of times what was funny is he would hit the first one in, and the second one, he would tween. He just like lost all the feeling, and he just couldn't commit to the same feeling and stroke. So he hit him out. He'd spray him. Sometimes he lost complete field spin. It would go flying into the curtain. Sometimes he put too much spin on the ball and bottom into the net. Sometimes he'd jerk out and he would miss it wide. But he could not put those 2 shots in a row together, and he would lose the games. It'd go deuce, add, lost. Then he lost such confidence that all of a sudden he was struggling to win points. That's how bad it got. And we went through 2 sets, and he basically lost like 6-1, 6-0 against himself doing this drill.
Wow.
And I said to him, because I could tell he was just beating himself up. He was seething. And I'm like, hey, buddy, you're not special, because I guarantee you 90% of people that would come to see me would do exactly what you're doing, especially when he's trying to hit as hard. And he's like, am I doing something here? Am I doing something there? Like he wanted to bail. He was hoping the answer would have been we could have videoed. And for some of you, it might be video, right? For some of you, your problem might be technical. I might say, yes, you're not making the shot because your technique is not there. You can't hit the shot consistently. For him, I'm like, I don't need to bring the iPad out. This is all about feel and confidence. You don't need to be analyzed. Your strokes, when it's just an individual stroke, is every bit as good to where you can do this. But mentally, you couldn't. So I'm like, okay, now 3rd set. I'm going to give you another option. You can serve. You can hit an underhand ball. you can hit a topspin ball, your choice. And I don't care what order you do it in. I don't care if you rip it first and chip it second. I don't care if you chip it first and then rip it. Like, I don't care what order it is. And then I also don't mind if you decide to do 2 rips in a row or 2 chips in a row. Your choice. And the first game, of course, he wanted to do a lot of ripping. Okay, so it went deuce-ad, deuce-ad, deuce-ad. And every time it got close, he decided to chip at least 1 ball. And he barely won the game, so he's up 1-0. The next game, since he was all up 1-0, like that's the first amount of success he had the entire match, he wanted to go back to ripping. But his feeling was not there. He completely was melted down mentally. So he lost the next game. So we were at 1-1. And then I said, you need to build confidence on the scoreboard. You can't just, have one successful game and then go, now I'll rip, everything's fine. No, it's not fine. This is how you guys lose matches, because you think that you are making this big sacrifice in your game, that you are giving in, that you're not playing the way you're supposed to play. And the thing that I told him, which was 100% true, and I don't think MEP would be offended, especially if you see this guy's technique. I said, your technique on the chip is better than MEP's technique. Your technique on the forehand chip is really, really good. And it was. I wasn't lying. This guy had technique is a specialty. And when he was going to the push, he wasn't pushing. A lot of his balls were firing through. He would serve, he'd set up, and he'd get here, and he's 6'4". Remember this, guys. He's 6'4", and he'd have this perfect technique, and he'd lean into the ball, and the ball would shoot fast and low and skid right into the backstop. I'm like, that's a good forehand. And it is a good forehand. You guys just don't believe it's a good forehand because every time you watch TV, you don't see that as a forehand anymore. You see that as a push. But here's what I want you to really understand this and how good a forehand chip shot can be and how effective it can be. John Newcomb in 1974, you guys might be going, oh, he's going 1974. Forehand. Come on, Pete. John Newcomb beat Jimmy Connors at the Australian Open in 1974 when Connors was #1 in the world and in his early 20s, and Newcomb was about to retire. And Newcomb has a push forehand. He doesn't have a swing forehand. He hits a hard forehand. Some of you that remember might go, what are you talking about? John Newcomb hits a hard forehand. Yes, he does. But he pushes his forehand. He's not a swinger. He doesn't swing the way Federer hits. But he hits rockets forehands on occasion. He wins that match. Jimmy Connors, at age 38 or 39, played Agassi to 5 sets. Agassi, he's always going to be part of modern tennis. Agassi rips his forehand. They went 5 sets when Connors was age 38. So what am I telling you? Like, this guy Connors could go 5 sets with Agassi, who clearly hits his forehand, when he's almost done and on the way out the door. But he lost to somebody who pushes his forehand when he was in his prime and #1 in the world. So a push forehand can be high quality. And that's what I was trying to get this guy Rye to buy into. Because I'm like, dude, your chip forehand is good. You're not sacrificing your game. You're not going to be made fun of outside the fence. Like, yeah, he won, but he pushed. Your slice forehand is deadly. And here's the thing. You're making it. So we ended up going about 80 to 90% chips and like 20 to probably more 10, 15% rips the rest of the set. He won 6-1. He won 6-1.
Boom.
And I told him, you need to go home and do this drill over and over and over again. Keep winning the set 6-0 against yourself with a chip. So when you go and play a match, you can continue. B2 is literally choking himself on this wire here.
Oh,
okay.
Careful.
I got him. You can continue to use this in a match. Okay. So I want him to set the ball machine up. I want him chipping. I want him winning games with a chip. And then I want him to also keep gradually upping his percentage of rips until that starts to also work and he gets that feeling. And I told him what I think is one important thing is my hardest job as a coach, and this is 100% true, is to get my students to believe what I know. You might want to write this down. Most coaches, their hardest job is to get their students to believe what I know. What I know is that if he goes and he does this drill over and over and over again and keeps score with himself, he keeps taking score, that his forehand chip is going to continue to get better and work better under pressure. His forehand rip is going to continue to get better and work well under pressure. And he eventually will be able to execute this in a match for real under pressure. But he's got to believe that it's true. And he's got to believe it, not to the point where he's like, I'm not asking him to go, yeah, you're right, coach. I believe you. Like, good point. Well taken. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about believing to the point where, like, damn, this guy's right. And I'm actually going to do this every day. Like after a while, he wanted to do another drill. He's like, can we do something else? I said, no. I said, because if we just hit the ball cross court, that's not going to help you. If we went and worked on your volley, that's not going to help you. This is the only way out. This is the only way out. And lots of times for most of in life, that's the only way out. You know, like if you, a personal fitness coach can tell you, hey, you're going to have to exercise and you're going to have to diet and you're going to have to be consistent. You're going to have to be disciplined. And the personal trainer knows when they tell you this, that if you go and you do it, it will work. But you have to believe the personal trainer enough to go, I'm going to do this. And you have to believe in yourself enough to where you're like, I'm actually going to commit. He is right. Not like doing it one day and you're like, yeah, I did well on that drill, or I did crappy on that drill. And, you know, I'm focused on this now. No, I'm talking about if you want to figure out how much you should be pushing versus how much you should be hitting and how it's going to go under pressure, you do this drill religiously. And you will find out a lot about how much you should be pushing versus how much you should be hitting.
Awesome. Pete, just to recap for anybody who came late or maybe didn't, basically came late, can you just recap the exact drill again that you want us to do?
So the drill is this. You serve, and especially we're going to work first on your forehand, okay? Because that you can turn into a weapon. And so I want you to serve, and you've got to make 2 forehands in a row. If it comes to your do side, I'm talking to righties. You know, if it's a lefty, just flip it. If it comes to the do side, I want you to hit it cross court. If you feed it, you can either have someone hand feeding you, a coach feed. You can tell the coach about the game, or you can have a ball machine, oscillating. Most ball machines will oscillate, feed one here, one there. If it goes to the ad side, hit it inside out. And start out hitting, because I know that's what you want to do, and that will be a good barometer of success, and start to keep score, and really to master it to where your stroke's not going to fall apart. You should be winning 6-0. You should be winning 6-0 and barely lose any points and not be scratching your head. I mean, you will miss some. You're not going to play perfect, but this is in a controlled environment to where you should make and win most of these points. You should win 2 to 3 to 1 ratio if you're doing it right. If you're like 50-50 and you're 30-40 and you're battling deuce ad against yourself, this is really going to exploit itself in a match. And then after you do that, then you can add a new rule where you're like, okay, now I have the option to hit it and to push it. And it can be any order you want. You could do 2 pushes in a row. You could do 2 hits in a row. You could do 1 and 1. But you've also got to figure out how smart are you, because the temptation is going to be like, oh, well, I'm winning points pushing. So I want to go back to ripping like right now the entire game. And that's exactly what this guy did. And he lost the game really quick. So I want you to also manage the scoreboard, even MEP, which was interesting because you guys are like, well, he's mostly a pusher. One thing that was interesting is he plays the scoreboard really well. He knew exactly how to keep the ball in play. And then at certain times in the match, especially when the scoreboard pressure wasn't there, he's also added another dimension in his game. He came over a couple forehands. He chipped and came in and put some balls away at the net. He took a little more offense, but the scoreboard was in his favor. You know, if you ask Mep to hit the ball or come to the net when he's used to doing this, right? And you say, okay, do it, 30, 40, 5, 6. I mean, he might be able to do it once in a while, but the confidence isn't there. But he was so good at mixing in the right times to play offense, where all of a sudden you're like, damn, I didn't know Mep had offense. And he does, but he knew the right time to use it.
Yeah, love that. Let's see. Thank you for recapping that. GOAT seems like push serve return against big serve is a good idea. I remember using that quite a bit actually in singles matches, especially against big serving opponents. Half the battle is getting that ball, like just chipping it low, and I had a lot of success with that. I found that the big servers, they expected to get a lot of free points, but by reducing that, it kind of had them panicked. So that's a good idea for sure. P Musca 1, I'm a 3-0 player. Generously, should I seek out pushers to play as a way to hone skills? What do you think?
Yes, absolutely. You should you're going to have to play. I mean, just by playing 3-0, you're going to play pushers. So you will play pushers. But what I want you to understand is that I think most people go, I want to play pushers so I learn how to use offense and destroy them. Like that's the ultimate fantasy. But what I'm telling you is learn how to become, not learn how to become a pusher, but learn how to master pushing shots. So when you're in a match, you're not stuck. Why people lose so many matches is you get stuck in tweenerville and you want to hit the ball, but you just keep tweening every shot. And you either A, refuse to have pushing shots because you're like, that's not how I play. I'd rather jump off a bridge than do that. Or B, you don't have good pushing technique. Look, guys, pushing, especially a good pushing technique, takes a lot of repetition and a lot of talent and a lot of technique. Okay, so don't just take for granted that you have it, because most people when I start feeding them volleys, most people have terrible volley technique. And then if I say, hit me a backhand slice, most people don't have really good backhand slices. So they don't have really good pushing skills. Hit a great drop shot from 3/4 court. Most people can't do that. But they don't take it like, I say, how many times if I had $1 for every time I said, okay, you guys work on, you feed lobs, you hit overheads and have lob overhead rallies. And I'm even talking about I've had the high performance juniors, not the better ones. The better ones can do it, but the middle of the road high performance juniors, like the people who are like a 5, 6 UTR or something like that. They'll tell me, I can't feed lobs. You see, so because you're not working on it and you don't think to work on it. So if you can't hit if I ask you, hey, have a lob overhead volley, and you're like, I can't do that. I don't have good lobs. Well, that's a problem. If I say, hey, hit a really good drop shot from the midcourt, then you don't have good pushing technique. If I say, hit a knifing slice approach shot up the line, and you're like, well, I can't do that. You need to be working harder on that. And I can tell you that most of you probably don't, because when I was top ranked in the state, I did not have a good backhand slice. I had an Australian coach I picked up about 13, 14, 15 years old, and it took me a year and a half to develop a slice backhand.
How did you do that, by the way? Sorry.
How did I do that?
What were some keys? Yeah. Just curious.
Well, I mean, first of all, we kept, having a good volley, developing your volley technique is key to having a good slice. Getting this racket butt set up like this is key. Okay. But also it's the repetition. I had the private lesson, and every single private lesson until I got the good feel. And he just kept giving me feedback each one, whether it was too floaty, whether it was long, whether it was in the net. It was constant feedback of how to tweak and adjust it. Okay. But in the beginning, I remember he told me, hit a chip shot up the line. I'm like, I don't know what that is. I don't know how to hit that, so, and I ended up, especially in my mid part of my junior career, probably 14 to 18, I became more of a serve and volley. I came into the net a lot off people's second serve. So it was absolute must that I had a good chip approach shot. Okay. That's a pushing talent. Now, when I was playing juniors, and you saw me hit a slice approach shot, you wouldn't go, oh, that is a pusher, but I was pushing my approach shot. Does that make sense? I wasn't hitting and ripping it.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, Peter. Let's see. We got cheat. Justin is always out on my side of the court. Justin is out and you will win. Justin is out. I got it. Nice.
Justin
Don't cheat.
That's good.
Tennis two times. I don't know what Peter Mehrban think, but playing against a pusher regularly has worked very well for me in terms of like you being successful.
I want you to play pushers regularly, but I don't want you to think that the only way out to beat a pusher is to hit them. One of the first things I want you to do when you're playing a pusher is have that skill to bring them to the net. In fact, I said that, and it was one of the things I wanted to work on with this guy, but we never got to it, but I was telling him he held serve. So it was like the set was as close as going to be. It was like 2-1, then it was 3-2. So we were like in the match for a little bit in the second set. And I said, this game on his return, I'm like, good hold. This game on your return game, I want you to bring him to the net twice. And then he tried to hit 2 slice returns off the backhand, and he wasn't even close to bringing the ball in. And then after the game, after the next changeover, he's like, I try. He's like, I don't know how to hit that shot. You see? So again, all he knew was offense. All he knew was come to the net. He never thought about bringing someone to the net. Pushers hate to create offense and be there at the net, against their will. It's like a fish out of water. But you guys usually think, yeah, I got to play. Most of you guys say, well, I don't even want to play pushers, and I don't want to push. I have much more fun when I play somebody a higher level than me, and they hit a better ball, and then I hit and I play more like myself. That's usually what I hear. Okay, but then when you do play them, you think, well, I got to out hit them. I have more skill, and you think of skill as hitting. But then you quickly find you're in a dogfight, and you start tweening the whole match, and you tell yourself you're pushing. You're not pushing. You're tweening. Don't get the two confused.
Yeah. Dangerous in between tweenering. Dave, when I try not to hit winners, I win more games.
Yeah.
Percentages.
Absolutely.
Dr. Bagel Maker again. Can you push a topspin forehand that isn't a crazy moon ball? As far as introducing pushing into my game, I started chipping in my return game to throw off opponents. I like that strategy. What do you think about the?
You cannot push a heavy topspin ball.
Yeah.
See, hitting a heavy topspin ball requires a swinging technique. Like I said, guys, if I am going to hit with Mehrban and I bounce the ball in and I hit it to him, I didn't hit the ball hard, but I hit it. I didn't push him the feed. I didn't tween him the feed. I hit him the feed. So in order to hit a good topspin ball, heavy moon ball, you've got to hit it. If you tween it, it's going to fly on you. It's going to take off like your strings are like at like 10 pounds. That's what tweening feels like. When you see the ball that's like, like where the hell did that go? That is, I'm telling you, a classic symptom of your tweening.
Yeah. Never, when that swing speed reduces, man, it's not a good time when you're trying to top spin.
Tweening also doesn't mean that you're not swinging with racket head speed. It means that there's something in there that holds back the full commitment to stroking the ball.
Yeah.
Like this guy, lots of his tweener shots, he hit the crap out of him, but he's the first ball he's there and he hits it, boom, and it goes like right perfectly in the corner. The next time he's there and he goes to hit it, he hits it really fast, but then his body jerks out. There's something mentally, confidence-wise, that is making him tween. I don't mean that tweening is always hitting slow, but it's neither a stroke or a pushing technique. And both a hitting technique and a pushing technique are very good techniques in tennis. And when properly done, they're very effective. When you tween, you are tweaking your stroke in some way. Whether your hand just kind of freezes up as you hit it, whether your body jerks, or whether you go to accelerate and then all of a sudden you decelerate. These are all classic signs that you're out there tweening and you're in a hell of a lot of trouble. There's not many matches you're going to win doing that. And yet that's what I see most of the time, especially people who come on and they say, I just don't play to my potential. This is it.
Yeah, 100%. Pete, let's see what we got. You won't get used and counter a style without playing it often. True. Tennis Teuton. Steffi Graf used to slice forehands and backhands until she got a short ball that she could dominate with her forehand topspin, push, hit. Yeah, great observation.
Yeah. She sliced a lot of backhands, almost predominantly backhands.
A lot.
She chipped a couple forehands. She more ripped it. She more did rip her forehand. But I'm sure, if you asked her, hey, Steffi hit a slice forehand approach shot, I'm sure it'd be perfect.
Yeah, 100%. John, sounds to me like a tweeny shot is similar to a bunt in baseball, no follow through.
No.
Yeah, I mean, like the slices, you're gonna.
A bunt is more of a pushing shot. A tween is more like you want to do something, and something within your technique and it's more within your mind bails out. It bails out of committing to what you're doing. So what I'm trying to get you guys to see, I believe it's and you have to have that. If you have good hitting technique and you have good pushing technique, under pressure for most of us, because we're not part of this, we're not going to a practice every single day for 3 to 4 hours a day and playing other unbelievable tennis players and then have a private lesson where the coach is feeding us balls. But as an adult, if you can develop good pushing technique and good hitting technique, under pressure, most of you are going to be able to execute a pushing technique easier than you're going to be able to execute a hitting technique. And I want you to be aware of that. And I want you to accept that that is okay. And it doesn't mean that you're playing defensive. I got a break point. It's 30-40. I'm afraid to just rip a forehand winner down the line. So an option I have is to chip and charge and come in. An option I have is to chip it low, cross court to their backhand, since I'm a lefty, make them approach. And then when they approach, I'll have a good C to hit open to. And then if I'm feeling confident, I might, hit a forehand down the line winner. Or if I see them running in like crazy, I might just go to another push shot and bring them in and then just lob over their head and take the point. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Love that strategy. Lionel, love the explanation. Lionel from Vaughan, Ontario, Canada. Awesome. I'm actually going to go up there in June, so that'll be really fun. B2 puppy kisses. Yes.
Poor guy is over here crying every 2 seconds. The thing that stinks is I know he's got a hot spot, guys. So after this, after our live stream, I've got to put this on him, which is going to make him feel better, but he's going to hate me. And I hate when he hates me. He's going to be so mad at me because I know it's going to sting and feel like crap for a couple of seconds. It rips my heart out. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well, got to do it, man. Dr. Success, are you saying that an intentional push is a slice?
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. A slice ball, a punch ball, a drop shot, a lob. These are your body is pushing the ball to make it happen. Yeah. And I think people get that confused. They think of pushing as hitting the ball slow, as not committing. One thing that's interesting when you watch Mep, he's not exactly a pusher because, especially when you watch some of his really good shots, some of his backhands and things like that, he's told, like, you would define it as an outright just push. It just got the ball back. He lobbed it back in. And that's like your ugly kind of definition of a pusher. But there'd be other times where he would be fully committed into his shot, and that ball would skip and have some sting to it. It's maybe a little unorthodox, but the way he was aggressively pushing his shoulder into it and using his hands, he was committed to that shot. He didn't bail out. He didn't push. He committed into a pushing technique with his body and his arm, and specifically your shoulder. When you're pushing, you're really using that shoulder.
Yeah, super important. Let's see. Sherry, the tweeners lose part reminds me of the in between the legs tweener shot.
Yeah, they mostly lose too.
A little bit different. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
High backhand shots, you can side spin the shot cross court. Yeah, you can. You definitely can. Tennis two-time, gotta go. Great content. Thanks for doing this. Keep on keeping on. 100%. Thank you. Appreciate it. Elaine, I totally agree that you need to step out of your comfort zone and play a little different game when playing against a pusher or even a deep high topspin hitter. Yes. Agree.
Or playing anybody. That's I just want to make sure you guys get this point. Playing anybody. It's not just about you guys need to go play more pushers more so you understand how to play pushers. What I'm trying to get you to understand is you've got to work and spend more time on your pushing techniques and test it in practice under pressure to see what holds up better. You know, when you play this game against yourself, it will show you what is holding up. Your pushing shot, your hitting shot, a certain combination of pushing and hitting. You'll figure it out. You'll know more what to do in a match.
Yeah, exactly. And a follow-up, I practice regularly with a pusher and find that when I hit deep topspin or slices, they have trouble. My issue is knowing where he is going to hit as he can adjust his direction at the last minute. Interesting. Yeah, that's a good skill to have. Yeah, I mean, any thoughts on that? I mean, I don't know if like at the last second they're just adjusting the angle of the racket face a bit.
Here's something. Because pushers that people label as pushers take pride in that, and they kind of take more pride in their minds. You know, people who want to be hitters, they take more pride in their technique and in their show, in their style. Pushers are like, I'm going to figure out how to beat you. And one thing that I've never heard anybody say ever, this is how MEP thinks and wins. He knew Rye was a serve and volleyer, and he knew that he was going to be coming in. So this is interesting. Listen to this. So this is probably what's happened to you, Elaine. He said, yeah, he's like, I saw you were coming to the net a lot. I knew you were going to be attacking me a lot. So I tried to hold as long as possible hitting the ball. I tried to wait to the point where I saw you kind of stop and commit where your body was going to be, and then I'd hit it. He said also when I hit second serves, because I knew you were going to come in a lot. So he did that on the return. And then on his serve, which he pretty much just taps the serve in, but he's kind of got like a little bite to it. It's not an all out, the slow serve. It's effective. He pushes it, but it kind of goes through the court fast and relatively fast and low. But he said, I saw you and I would go to act like I was going to hit the serve, but I didn't even pick up on it. So it's not like it was pure gamesmanship that anybody else would pick up on. It's not like he did a fake and then didn't hit it and then hit it again. But he basically just changed his cadence a little bit to where he thought like, okay, Rye thinks I'm going to serve now, and I'm just going to wait that extra little bit before I toss it and then hit it to kind of throw off his timing of his chip and charge and hopefully get him to miss a couple of times. Just little subtle things like this is what crafty players are thinking about when they're out playing you.
Yeah, 100% there. Lionel, based on this conversation, NTRP rating should evolve to include pushing techniques like drop shots, slices, lobs, and so on. Well, I mean, variety of shots is a part of, the ratings to some extent.
Yeah, I think it is. They say things like, this player can volley with confidence and hit overhead with confidence, and so it is in there.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see, Wendy. So are you saying that pushing the ball is more about the lack of follow through? I think a similar question. Since you can hit a ball slow, some say that a slow hit ball is a pusher and still have follow through.
Yeah, I mean, guys, go watch John Newcomb hit a forehand. Lots of times he followed through. He went all the way through. All I'm saying, pushing is a technique. When I'm pushing, see, I can like Chris Evert. She didn't really hit her forehand, guys. She hit her forehand, but she pushed her forehand. So lots of 70s players, they pretty much all pushed their forehand. Let me get in here. It would be here, and then they'd push through it, and they'd reach out. See, so like this is pushing. So you watch a lot of old school forehands, and they look a lot like this. They're pushing the ball. They're pushing the ball. Even Jimmy Connors, he was like a combination of hitting and pushing, but there's an instructional video where he says on a forehand, you need to have a firm grip. Does that mean Jimmy Connors doesn't know what the hell he's talking about and he's wrong? No, that's not what he means. Because he had a different grip than Roger Federer and a different technique, he more had a very strong pushing forehand. So he would grip the racket tight and then hit it, but he'd hit it fairly hard and middle the ball, and he'd come through like this. Okay? Hitting, I wish this stupid wire wasn't here. I can't take it off, otherwise it won't hit me. But hitting is more rotational. You're getting here. What we think of as hitting is we're getting here, and instead of our shoulder moving like this in a pushing motion, we initiate the kinetic chain, and we're swinging around like, I can't do it because of this cord, but you know what I'm talking about. Just think about Federer hitting a ball. It's a completely different rotation. You know, the shoulder's moving like this, and you're falling through over here versus being more linear and going out to it. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. And I'm trying to tell you guys that to do the first one is easier if you can do both. It's easier to do under pressure unless you're going to join a junior academy and train every single day to where you play like a machine.
Yeah. Love it. Let's see. Kay, Ash Barty had great rally combination of push,
yes,
hit that also
absolutely.
drew many unforced errors. Yep, from opponents.
And that's a great example. That's a great example because Ash Barty's slice is a pushing technique. And it stood out like a sore thumb at the Australian Open because you had all these amazing players playing these banging matches where they're just hitting the crap out of the ball, and they look amazing until they played Ash Barty because no one hit the ball like Ash Barty. They didn't see that. They basically see every match they play is like a game of Russian roulette. The women play with a lot less margin than the men. They kind of in a way play more aggressive. You know, the men typically will play with more shape, and the women hit topspin, but they play with less shape. So it's more high risk, high reward. And then they go against Barty, and she's hitting these slice shots, and she's using different angles. And she won that Australian Open with ease. And it wasn't necessarily because she's so much better than them. It's that she's so much different than them.
Yeah. I love her style. Sherry, I love the serve, deep loopy repetition, and eventually finish the point. Keep the side to side and deep to short option open.
Yeah,
definitely. Pre-op consult. Arthur Ashe also used no pace and short slices to beat Connors on grass.
Arthur Ashe has a push forehand. Okay, does Arthur Ashe have a good forehand? Absolutely yes, but it's a push forehand. He didn't swing. He doesn't have a swing forehand. If you want to go look up Arthur Ashe's forehand, that's a push forehand. That's what I mean. I don't mean that a push forehand is a bad forehand. And I think that's what I'm even fighting on this live call and making sure that you guys understand.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. Proc, that's exactly how I feel like I'm giving in. I'm supposed to be able to rip it big forehand. So when I'm hitting out and put in a position that I need to slice, I feel like I'm giving in. No, it's just, a different tactical change. Yeah.
No, that's my number one goal for the call. I want you guys to understand that it's completely unrealistic and that you have to embrace developing pushing technique, not to become a pusher. Rai is never going to become a pusher. Rai, if you watch this guy who I coached who lost to Mep, he will never be a pusher. But I want him to develop more pushing skills so he becomes more multidimensional and he wins matches and points a lot easier. That's all I'm trying to teach you guys tonight.
Yeah. Appreciate it, Pete. Awesome stuff. Colin, Pete, have you got a video out for this drill?
No, but I actually, this whole thing, I've always thought about it, and you've always seen it as a coach. You know when the match is over. You know because you've felt it too yourself. Like when I coach, and I love all my students, and when you see them struggle, you feel it in the pit of your stomach. And you don't even only feel it in the pit of your stomach because you feel sorry for them and you can see the anguish they're going through. You always have flashbacks of, man, I know exactly how they feel right now. And so I've thought about this concept a lot, but I don't think I've ever verbalized it as well as I did hopefully tonight. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this, and I did with my student a couple days ago. So I'm going to make a video on this specific topic, and probably show the drills, and it'll probably be a YouTube video, at some point.
Excellent. Love it. Making that content, Pete. Let's see. The back end is a huge weapon too. Oh, I love Peter's headset. There you go. See? So stylish. Black and green. Like a lizard. Paul, thanks for letting me know about that bomb alert, the spam. I took it off, so appreciate it. Oh boy. Yeah. Artie Shad, excellent presentation. Enjoying and learning a lot. Greatly appreciated. Love it. Let's see. Paul, the kind of pusher I feel most confident beating is one who absolutely dreads coming to the net. Yes. Yep. Give them short stuff. 100%. Yes. Let's see. Great stuff as usual. Thanks for presentation. Learning a lot. Thank you, Artie. Let's see. CMN tiebreaker, return of serve. Do you push or hit? It really depends.
Yeah, I mean, that's the point. The more you play the game, the more you will know what percentage. Like let's say the student I had the other day. If I like had to put money on it, and I'm coaching him, I'm going to say, look, Rye, when you stay back, I want you to push more of your forehands than hit them, because I know since we won a set 6-1, basically hitting a push forehand, and we lost 6-1, 6-0 trying to hit the forehand, even though you have an amazing topspin forehand, the confidence isn't there. So we have the data to say you should be pushing in your tiebreaker under pressure more than you should be hitting. And so that's why I want you to go out and play this game so you can decide. And I did play high-level juniors, was a state champion, went to nationals, played Division I college. So I was one of those players that, high-performance player. So I was able to tap in more into, like if you saw me where I think I'm pushing, you might go, well, Pete doesn't look like he's pushing. But I knew that I was be more conservative in pushing, or maybe I went to a chip and charge. And especially on second serves, I think everybody can kind of relate to that. You got a second serve, you got an opportunity to do some damage, and you have to have that honest conversation with yourself. Like, what does the data say, like, about you when you're in this situation and you hit? Are you most likely to make it when you hit it or when you push it? And then it also comes down to feel. I had enough reps to where I could do both under pressure, but I had to pick and choose when to do what shot, because sometimes they'd be serving to me and I'd be like, I'm nervous. I don't know if I can hit out on this ball. So I would make a compromise and figure out what's the best hit or push to do to not just give a point away, because you should just be ripping when you see a weak second serve.
Yeah, definitely. Let's bring me back here. Wendy, I think we've heard so often that pushers are those who just hit slow. Yeah, they're usually not hitting with a ton of pace.
Exactly. And what I'm talking to you tonight is that I'm not, but I am saying this. I mean, I'm saying both. I'm saying pushers, people that you label as pushers, they win a lot. It's undeniable. They win a lot of matches. Hitters, when you watch a hitter who can hit the entire match and execute, that's the key, can execute, they will win a lot. And when you can do it really well, like MEP went up against Simon, who's 12 years old and 40 in the nation. Simon could hit and execute, so he beat MEP 6-1, 6-0. I don't think anybody's ever done that on the YouTube. So he could hit and execute. Tweeners, they get lost. And so what I'm telling you is that pushers win, but not only that, is you don't have to be a pusher to work on your pushing technique shots. I'm not saying become a pusher to win more matches. I'm saying develop pushing technique shots to use them more in a match when it is appropriate.
Yep. 100%. Let's see, Sherry. I'd say play how you got there to the tie break. It's a good approach, I suppose.
I'd say yes or not. I'm not. I love that, but I'm going to stop that. Not necessarily. I mean, you might be there in the tie break. You might be much better this player, and then all of a sudden you're in a tie break with them. You maybe should have won the set 6-3, but you're losing confidence in shots, and you're hitting a lot of tweener shots. Or you might be able to play well when you're down. So it might be like, the score is 1-0 and you have an opportunity to go 2-0, and then you choke and it's 1-1. You see, because every time you get a lead, so you have to really tap into what you're doing well under pressure, because you can go through a whole set and be good enough to stay even, and then all of a sudden the pressure even ratchets up a little more, and you might fall apart more.
Yeah. So like, what skills can you deploy under pressure?
Yeah.
Gotta think about that. Cool. Let's see, Dr. Bagel Maker. When I get back to Atlanta to train / play against you, I want you to wear those headphones. I think I can beat you with the wire in the way. Maybe if it's not plugged into a computer, I think you might have a tough time. So yeah,
he might if I wear it with no computer. If I have the computer and run around with the computer, then I might put my money on the Bagel Maker.
He's pretty good though. I think maybe serving might be real tough actually. Let's see, did extension cord. Kubi Vasek, nice. Great stuff, guys. So do you have any tips for taking the ball on the rise when the pusher gives you a super deep ball and you don't have court room to back up and let it drop? I mean, it's all about the footwork there. It's it's tough. Sometimes you got courts that have plenty of space in the back. Sometimes they're not so much. So I think, footwork, short swing, and then really got to concentrate and zoom in on the ball, when it's coming towards you, especially when it bounces. The timing, it's going to be tough at first, I think, especially if you're not used to hitting on the right shots that much. But yeah, any other thoughts, Pete?
Again, it's knowing your skill set. If you hit me a deep, heavy ball, most of the time I'm going to take it off the bounce and do something that looks like a swing. Okay. If you hit a deep, heavy ball to MEP, and what was interesting is watching MEP warm up, I was like, oh, he's developing. He hit some swing hitting forehands in the warm up. He didn't do as many in the match. He had a couple when he had the good score and good confidence. But if you hit MEP a deep, heavy ball, he's going to absorb it with a push. So you've got to be, honest with yourself. When the ball's coming deep and heavy, even though you want to look good and take it on the rise and swing through it versus push it, what do you actually do? What does the data say will go in more for you? That's what you need to do. Let the data dictate your game, not how you want to play.
Sorry, I think I was on mute. Azair, it's a slow underspin slice the pushers do for me. I lost so many matches against pushers. Need to practice and play better. Balls close to the net. Any thoughts in practice drill? Well, you should rewind it for sure, Azair, because we went through. Pete went through like a great drill for you to do. So just watch the replay on that, and you'll get a lot of all the information you need basically to answer this question. Dr. Bagel Maker, I can smoke a slice backhand, but not a slice forehand. Do you have a video or a tip to do so, Pete? Any slice forehand videos? Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute. Yeah. No, I can't hear you right now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now you're good.
Okay, so with my 3 big bonuses, there's tons of videos on how to hit great chip, slice, push forehands. So
excellent.
Again, and maybe it's a good time to transition to this, Mehrban, because it's late. But you get my 7-day double specialty shot challenge. I teach it in there. And a no fear net play. I also teach it a lot in there, this technique.
Yeah. I would just put in the link actually in the chat. Let's see. Oops, that's the wrong one. But yeah, I think at this point, I really appreciate everyone following along, and we do want to definitely have you stick around just to hear about the awesome bonus package. It's like ridiculous how much stuff is in this package, and we highly believe that these resources are going to really help level up your game as long as you implement. So, Peter, do you want to talk about your bonuses that you will provide if you get the all access pass through your link?
Yes, I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see this. So I'm hitting share screen. I'm sharing, and then I'm going to put this up and share the side. So it's loading. It's loading now. There you go. So yeah, so I've got 3 big bonuses when you upgrade. It's a package worth $261. I think conservatively. I mean, guys, when I make these courses, it takes me months to make these things. So yeah, so let's go through those bonuses. The first bonus is next level doubles. This is a $97 value. It sold for $97. It actually did very well selling at $97. And it's got videos like when to poach, when and how do I come to the net in a doubles rally, when do I set up my partner, when and how do I set up my partner to close out a point, how to understand effective shots and how to take advantage, best tactic to play with a weak partner, how to play with forever changing partners, how to beat and neutralize somebody who is a poach monster, which side should I play, how to deal with people who dink and lob, pushers. What happens when I am the inferior player and partner, running plays with my partner. So all that and more, there's 108 videos is inside Next Level Doubles. So this is another video that we actually talked about this on a live stream before. It's like, how do I handle a high backhand volley? I got a video on that. Okay, next one is no fear net play, also valued at $97. And you got forehand volley videos, backhand volley videos. We're going deep on step-by-step technique. I teach it to you just like if you were right on the court with me. Okay, I teach it in that step-by-step format. Ball spacing and movement, the drop shot, wall drills, warm-up drills, how to add a power volley, which is basically you can learn how to hit a power volley on both sides. Just think about then the ball bouncing and you've got an amazing driving forehand and backhand slice. Safe spots of the court, hot shots on the court, and danger zones. Basically mean like, where can you hit that's safe? Where can you hit a shot that, is going to be giving you the point? And where are the danger zones? Those shots that you think that you should hit and you go for it, and then you always lose the point, or you set yourself up to be past the next shot. That's what that means. Mid-court mastery practice, improving your volley net skills, coverage, accuracy, and volley skills, all inside that. And then finally, you got the double specialty shot challenge. That's 7 days of working on different skills. Right here, I'm doing a pushing technique. It's basically like I've got 2 fake Roger Federers there, and the drill is that the ball machine is feeding me like a second serve, and rather than ripping it under pressure and thinking I can hit a winner against Roger, I'm going to lob it over Roger's head right behind these 3 cones, make the other Roger change, and then this Roger's got to change and decide if they're going to move over or move back. And then most likely, if I hit a good lob, I'd fall to the net and get a nice smash overhead for me and my partner. So that's just one of many specialty shots you'll learn that are going to definitely help you if you can master them in doubles matches. So those are the big bonuses you get when you sign up. You can stop. I'll stop sharing my screen. But again, you have to buy off my special link. So Mehrban can put that in there. If you're on the actual Summit page watching this, you can click the link there and it will go into basically my buyer's library where I get to see that, okay, they bought off my special link. And then what I have to do is then me and my web developer go through and set you up individually and put it into your member library, send you out an email letting you know it's in there. And if you don't get it within the next 48 hours, then you send me an email to crunchtimecoaching@gmail, and I will make sure we get it in there.
Yeah, perfect. And I do want to just put the slides up just so we can understand like all the stuff that we're getting here. So you're getting lifetime access to all 40 Summit masterclasses from this year's Summit. So I know a lot of you watched a ton of the courses or the classes. I had somebody email me, Steven, that said that he took notes on 21 of the sessions, which is amazing. So big up to him. And then you not only get that, you get the audio MP3 downloadable files of every single Summit session, so you can listen to them in the car, in the shower, while you're cooking, all that anywhere you want, which is something that I love doing. And then you also get the transcripts of all the Summit sessions, which was requested a couple of years ago, and we've implemented that. And then you'll get the Tennis Summit implementation worksheet. So as you see, the value keeps rising up exponentially. And Wendy's asking, will they be in our Tennis Files library? Yes, exactly. They will be in the members site that you'll get login information sent to you. So all that will be in the library.
But not
the
my
exclusive
bonus.
access.
Not my
bonus.
bonus.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's true. Yeah, because to clarify, Peter will email you information to get his bonus within a few days.
Two different websites, guys.
Yeah.
I'm supporting Mehrban's Tennis Summit launch.
Yeah, appreciate that, Peter. And then you also get a members-only Q&A live stream with me and a guest coach, most likely. Then you will also get a free set of Signum Pro or Genesis strings, which is really awesome. I befriended the owner of Genesis Strings, who's also the national sales manager for Signum Pro. And so like within 2 weeks after the summit, probably sooner, I will send you a link from my friend where you answer a few questions, and then based on your preferences, that factory will send you a free set of strings. So super cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and it's pretty awesome. So definitely, I mean, they're really loading up because we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people who are gonna get in on this. And then also special deals and discounts from our sponsors, and then after all that stuff, you get No Fear Net Play from Peter. You get the Next Level doubles from Peter, and you get the 7-day double specialty shot challenge from Peter. And then on top of that, and keep in mind, this is only one-time payment of $97. You get Tennis Summit 2, and you get the top 10 podcast interviews. So the Tennis Summit 2 is one of my summits that I did previously, which has I think around 40 more sessions for you to check out. So you're getting 2 summits for the price of one. And then the 3 programs from Peter, all these bonuses, free sets of set of strings, just so many things. So this total value is easily over $3,000. So I personally highly recommend this. Obviously, I mean, it's just so much value that you're getting. And I'll put Pete's link in the chat one more time. So yeah, I can't recommend this enough. Just you're going to have a library of anytime, like any shot in the book, any singles double strategy, fitness programs, like anytime you want, I'm having some trouble with my serve. Oh, there's these 10 lessons in my library on the serve here, kick serve, slice serve power, amazing lessons. I mean, it's just incredible. Get all the top coaches here for you all to help teach you and for you to implement and learn from. And it's amazing stuff. So highly recommend that you get the all access pass, because also the opportunity to get it expires tonight at midnight Pacific time. So after that, we're closing access to it, and highly recommend that you jump on this amazing deal. So any other thoughts about this, Peter?
I just totally agree with you. I mean,
I couldn't fit everything on the sheet here.
I mean, you can't fit everything on the sheet. And I don't know if you guys heard the story I told the other night. It's like, here's the other thing, which he hasn't mentioned. You're not even, you're trying it. You're saying, and by now you should really realize, is the quality there? I mean, think about everything that online instruction does, which I'm super proud of. You get to experience the entire thing for free. that took Mehrban all year to create and to orchestrate and to get all these amazing coaches that have won Grand Slams and coach Grand Slam champions and are master professionals and have over 260,000 YouTube subscribers and on and on and on. And you get to hear their best advice they can give you on each topic, whether it's how to hit a forehand, how to hit a serve, how to win a doubles match, how to hit a singles match, how to get more fit, what equipment you should use. It's the best of the best. And if you decide, if you have something, and I'm just going to say it, you almost have to be kind of like bail. I think it's a total bailout if you buy it and then you return it, but you can do. There's no judgment. We just return it. I am judging you right now because I'm like, how could it not be helpful? Like, you didn't use it. There's no way it's not helpful. You didn't take the initiative to use it. But go ahead. You know, if it gets overwhelming, if life gets too busy, if you get injured or whatever, you can send Mehrban an email and get 100% of your money back. Now, with all that said, I went to go watch one of my favorite musicians. I bought a ticket. Daryl Hall. Love Daryl Hall. Love Daryl's house. Hall and Oaks. Super stoked. Buy the ticket. Realize he's playing with somebody that I don't like at all. I'm like, I don't want to go to this concert now. I want to get a refund. So as soon as I spent $250 plus, I write an email to the Ticketmaster saying, I want a refund. I don't want to go to this. I get an email back. Sorry, there's no refunds for this concert. I'm like, okay, I'll make the best of it. I'll go. I still love Daryl Hall. I'm sure it'll be great. I go there at 75 years old. Daryl Hall decides I'm not going to play one hit. I'm not going to play one hit. So with the whole night total, I probably spent with me and my girlfriend, everything, over $400 to go this thing. I'm 5 or 6 songs into Daryl Hall's concert and I walk out and I will never see that money again. I can't do anything about it. And it wasn't even a good memory. You already know if you're having good memories and good information from this summit. And if you just want to own it, it's like dirt cheap. So I don't know. I'm done.
Yeah. No, it's I mean, again, like Pete said, money back guarantee right there. So for whatever reason, if it doesn't work out, just let me know. So no risk. So definitely check it out.
All reward. That's a pretty, there's not many things. Think about that. There's not many things in life where it's all risk. I mean, I'm sorry, where it's all reward and no risk. There's barely anything I can think of like that. Seriously.
Yeah, same. So just highly recommend it again. Just try it out, and I think you'll really enjoy it. You'll improve every part of your game if you implement, study. It's incredible value. This is the best package I think we've ever put together. So I want to thank you so much, Peter, for contributing as well. So we'll put your link one more time in the chat again. I mean, thank you all for listening. It really was so much fun with the tennis summit. I can't believe that it's over. And but we'll be creating more content for you and look forward as well to all the great stuff that Pete has in store. So Pete, any final last words to close it off?
I just really appreciate you and you letting me share the time with you and come on live with you and do these live streams. I look forward to it every year. And, I know you behind the scenes as well as, just when we do our live stuff. And I mean, what you see is what you get with Mehrban. He is just a super nice guy, hard worker, leaves no stone unturned, thinks of every single thing he can do to add to the summit to make it high quality and as useful as possible. And every year I learn something from him putting on the summit to where I'm like, when I do Tennis Con, I want to do it that way because that is a great way to do it. So I'm always even just besides all the speakers he gets, I get ideas like, I should do that too. Cause that's like a hell of a service that he's providing. So great job.
Thanks, Pete. Really appreciate the kind words. It's definitely mutual, and I'm really inspired all the time by all the hard yards that you're putting in. I mean, you're constantly making YouTube videos. Like you're probably the only guy I know who does. I mean, so many video reviews like that take so much of your time, and you include that in a lot of cases, or maybe all the cases in your program. So yeah, it's just great to see you doing so well, and we're looking forward to seeing all your great content, and definitely follow Crunch Time Coaching. That's a mandatory requirement here. So yeah, thank you so much, Pete, and thank you to the audience. And yeah, just some nice comments from everybody. Appreciate it, Wendy and Xiao and Dave as well. And yeah, so I guess that's it for now, but you'll definitely see us create more stuff in the future. So I want to thank you so much again, Peter, and thank you to everybody for tuning in. And we'll definitely be in communication again soon. So take care, everybody.